The honourable member for Oshawa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I listened to my colleague's speech. I had a constituent that wanted me to ask a question about outside interference to our democracy. Klaus Schwab is the head of the World Economic Forum, and he bragged how his subversive WEF, World Economic Forum, has, quoted, infiltrated governments around the world. He said that his organization had penetrated more than half of Canada's cabinet. And I was wondering, in the interest of transparency, could the member please name which cabinet ministers are on board with the WEF's agenda? My concern is the deputy.
Order. I know that the member was in a really good question there, but the audio is really bad and the video is really bad as well. And I apologize. I don't know if the member. Okay, let's try again. The honourable member for Timmins James Bay.
Mr. Speaker, that member was promoting open disinformation.
Actually, this notion to integrate young leaders is part of the World Economic Forum since many years. And I have to say, when I mention now names like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. Mm-hmm. But what we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets.
Whoa, wait. What did he just say? Rewind.
That we penetrate the cabinets. That we penetrate the cabinets.
Devious. So there you have it, folks, straight from the mouth of the supreme ruler of the planet Earth, Klaus Schwab. Yeah, they have to penetrate your government in order to, push forward their globalist agenda.
So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
This is Trudeau talking about the country that he admires most.
Even with Sun TV watching for any slip, he was asked which country he most admired and referred to China.
There's a level of admiration I actually have for China because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say, we need to go green as fastest. We need to start, investing in solar.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful when they tell you exactly what they are. And that's exactly what he did there. I come in with rainbows and unicorns and tolerance and love and LGBTQI. What are all the other letters? You've all seen the video. But who does he really admire when push comes to shove? He really admires China. And why does he admire China? Because China doesn't give a flying F about their citizens' individual rights. China is a collectivist society. So you know what happens in a collectivist society where everyone basically has to bow to the government? The government can get a lot done. And that's what Trudeau's saying. There's a lot of things that I want to get done. And you know what you got to crush when you're trying to get a lot done? You have to crush the individual. And that's what this all boils down to. The individual versus the state. And Trudeau at some level is not really a person. And what I mean by that, I don't mean it to dehumanize him. I mean it in that he just represents something, a government, a conglomerate, a corporation, a worldwide whatever. That's what Trudeau is as a person. That's why he reeks of inauthenticity, right? That's why you know that everything he's saying is a lie, that nothing is truly passionate or decent that comes out of him, right? Because he doesn't represent himself. He represents an idea, a bad idea. So you got to crush all the individuals along the way. So what he's saying there is, I dig China because they can get shit done. So I come in, I sound like a nice guy, but really what I am is an awful authoritarian. But one of the things that they come in with is this diversity, all this faux, tolerance stuff. But what they love is the idea of unity, right? They're always talking about unity. We should be united. They don't mean it. What they mean is that half the people should just bow. But Trudeau, because he needs unity, he needs the idea of unity, he's now telling the Canadian people that what's happening right now, it's not even dividing Canadians. It's all good.
It has been clear that this is something that democracies around the world are concerned with. Countries that did well during the pandemic with high vaccination rates and strong public health measures are still seeing backlashes against those measures and frustration by people who are tired of this pandemic. And the impact of social media and illicit funding of concerted activities designed to destabilize a country that has the highest vaccination rate of many of our peer countries, Canada, around an issue that is not dividing Canadians. Canadians are united in having been there for each other through this pandemic, and they're even united in being sick and tired of this pandemic. But the way to get through it is not to shut down our economy and hurt our neighbors.
Remember I said a week ago or so that when I did the show here in Miami with Jordan Peterson about 2 weeks ago, that there was a question about Justin Trudeau that was asked by the audience. And Jordan said that Justin Trudeau is simply incapable of saying a true statement. And you really can feel it right there because he needs unity, right? Because he loves it. They love this idea of conformity and collectivism. And what that would mean is that there would be no dissenting voices, right? Because they know what's good for you. So the lie there is just incredible. As he is literally passing emergency powers to stifle dissent in his supposed free country, as he's doing that, telling people that their bank accounts will be shut down, that they will be arrested if they're out on the streets, and God only knows what they're doing behind the scenes, he's telling you that they're united. They're united. And at the same time, everybody loves what we've done here. Everybody loves the masks. Everybody loves the mandates. They love me. Look at my hair. They gotta love me. I'm Justin Trudeau. It's so bananas ridiculous. They lie about everything. And then I saw this. Connor, let's pull this up. Rasmussen Reports had a new study that 59% of U.S. voters support Canadian truckers in the Freedom Convoy protest. The reason I thought this was interesting is because this story, as I've mentioned, is basically being ignored or lied about on mainstream media. So we've shown you some clips from CNN. Don't worry, guy, we're not going to do it right now. We're not showing you CNN clips, but we've showed you some clips of CNN and MSNBC and a bunch of other news networks where they're basically calling all of the protesters racists and they're bigots and, they're anti-vaxxers and a whole bunch of other nonsense.
So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau, and I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the world economic forum.